Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Genesis. My name is Nico van der Berg, and today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So over to my screen, and here we go. This is Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart. Let's just zoom out to the daily chart quickly. And for those of you who watched yesterday's video, I did say that Bitcoin could come back down even lower. I was short-term bearish on Bitcoin. The reason why is I'll show you now on the 4-hour chart how we've been trending down, as well as the fact that we're below all major moving averages. We have been creating lower lows and lower highs. This is a typical trending market. So because it's trending to the downside, it's very difficult for me to be bullish on something that's actually below all major moving averages on a daily chart. So with that being said, I do think we could come and test this trend line, this support trend line that I've pulled from historical data all the way back from the beginning of this upward cycle. We can see that this line has been respected as support as well as resistance. So I think that this lining up with some other major market structure, this could be a significant zone to be looking at. Also, the other thing is we are definitely putting in a bullish divergence on the daily chart. So for me, what I want to see now is that being respected. We could push lower, excuse me, we could push lower into this green zone right here. So I want to see how price reacts while we're inside of this green box, this liquid zone. And if I'm happy with what I'm seeing, I'll probably enter a very, very small long position. I don't want to build too big of a position if we're still trending to the downside. It's never good. It's never a good idea to dollar cost average into a downtrend. So on the 4-hour chart, we can see that this is a clear support resistance flip. We can see this was support right here up here, and price broke to the downside, and we could be seeing this act as resistance. Price would have to go a little bit higher for that to be textbook perfect, but it's a good thing to see that the price is trending. It's got a sure direction, and as a trader, I can trade when there's decision and decisiveness in the market. So Bitcoin, yeah, I think we still maybe go a little bit sideways from this point, maybe go a little bit lower, test this trend line. Let's see if there's anything else that lines up with this zone. Not really. On the 3-day, maybe? No, nothing. 2-day. Well, this is interesting. On the 2-day chart, we can see that we've broken below both of these major moving averages. So on the 2-day chart, we officially, as of about in the last 4 days, we are officially below all major moving averages on the 2-day chart. So if this continues, the 3-day chart will also go into below all major moving averages. So that does show that we might still push down. Weekly does look like it wants to come lower, and you know, it might come to my target. It might come into this green box right here, and that for me would be a good place to look at stuff like bullish divergences and etc. So that's it for Bitcoin for now. Let's move on to do some traditional markets. Let's look at the Dow Jones. It's like I said before in yesterday's video, this does look toppy to me. We can see some rejection wicks from the upside. So as soon as market opens, right now the market is still closed. If you have some profits to take off the table, I would suggest to do that. Looking at how yesterday ended, it's looking like this wants to create a nice little top. And we have been putting in bearish divergences all the way up here. So it's a good idea to take some profits off the table. Wait for a deeper retest. Perhaps, let's get our Fibonacci tool in here. Perhaps a retest of about 27,935, maybe even lower than that. The perfect setup would be around this green zone right here, but it does look like it won't push that low. So we'll have to reassess on that. As of now, my position is completely closed on this. So it could pop back down around about this zone here. Let's just get in a nice little liquid zone right there. It could pop back down there, and then we'll see what happens from there. Let's look at gold. Gold is still going sideways, moving sideways. We're still inside of this white zone, this liquid zone, and yeah, price does look like it wants to push up, but it just can't get there, and we are putting in a little bit of a bearish divergence here. So it looks like gold might be pushing down on the weekly charts. I think gold might be a very good setup for a short, but however, I'm not going to enter this trade yet. I want to see how the daily candle closes, and if it does close a little bit lower than its wick right now, if it closes below 1474, I'll consider maybe entering a trade here with a short on gold. My targets would be $1,450 an ounce. Okay, so let's look at Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq, as like we said yesterday, has broken out, and now I would expect it to continue this break to the upside and perhaps push up to 107.60. So it's looking good. We definitely have a little bit of a breakout here. This was almost a bull flag. Probably on the 4-hour chart, this would be a bull flag. We can even zoom in, I mean. Okay, so there we can see it was a nice little bull flag, and technically speaking, we should be able to get a measured move off of this from the impulsive move upwards. We take that, and it looks like we might come up, and if we take the measured move from this, we might come up to 112. So, you know, is that guaranteed? Of course not, but we have a resistance line up here, so it could push up quite a bit. We'll have to see how this one plays out, though. It's a good idea to be in a position right now. Like we said yesterday, that if this candle closed above, we'll reassess. You can see that nice little test back down to that prior resistance now became support level, and we pushed up immediately after that. So well done if you did take this trade and you did pay attention to that. But remember, don't trade my opinions, and this is not financial advice. Okay, so let's look at the NAS 100. NAS 100 is still pushing upwards. This was our initial target. It does look like it wants to come back down. So if you haven't yet, all of our positions are right now closed. We have 0 positions open. We might open up one in gold later today or at the end of the daily candle close and maybe go short on it. But for now, we have 0 open positions. NAS 100 still looking very good, still breaking up. This one is on a breakout as well. I would be expecting a move all the way back up to 7693. So let's just go down to a 4-hour chart here. What I'll be looking for is some kind of retracement and retest of a lower level. So I would probably be looking for this to come back down to about 7445. If I can find some kind of good entry reason around this area here, so this is the zone I'll be looking for. If I can find a decent reason for entry at that point, I'll go long on the UK 100 for sure. So as a summary, let's just quickly go over Bitcoin real quick. Once again, I am short-term bearish on Bitcoin. It is looking like we want to push lower. If we can come and test this trend line and find some kind of support on this trend line, it might be a good idea to enter a very small position here for a long trade. If this goes in your favor, the small position, you can always just add to it and ladder yourself into a trade. If you see it breaking and you buy every single retest to the downside, and you catch those little dips in between, this could be a very strong position at the end of the day. But you start with a small position. So I'm going to start with a small position if I see an entry reason here, and then as I see the market progress and continue to make higher highs and higher lows, that would be a good sign to me that the trend has changed and I can continue to build on that position. If not, I lose a very, very small amount of my capital. If this trade goes against me, that's how I manage my risk. I will know where my stop loss should be so that I only lose 2%, 1 or 2% of my capital. And so if the worst case scenario does play out, I'm keeping myself safe and I'm keeping the goose that lays the golden egg, which is the capital. So I'll be looking to maybe open up a very little position here, see how the market reacts from this point. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, that's also good. Then we know that we should short Bitcoin instead of long. Overall, you'll be way more profitable shorting Bitcoin at the moment. I mean, we are in a downtrend, so I usually don't trade against the trend. It's the worst thing you could do. However, we know that Bitcoin is notorious for very deep retracements after parabolic moves to the upside. And it's usually a good thing if you can catch those exact bottoms of those dips. So it's good to risk a little bit every time and see if this is maybe the bottom, and then you can catch it. Okay. So if you like the content, please leave us a like. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you're a trader out there, remember to stay in the green. Cheers. Bye-bye.